Welcome to Restful Wilderness. Here, we let the calm beauty of nature guide you into peace. As you listen, imagine yourself walking through quiet forests, hearing the whisper of trees and the gentle songs of the earth. Let these words and sounds wash over you, slow your thoughts, and carry you gently toward rest. This is your time to relax, your time to let go, your time to drift into sleep with the wilderness by your side. Urban trees have a remarkable effect on temperature. A city block lined with mature trees can be up to 10 degrees cooler than surrounding streets. This natural cooling happens because trees provide shade, but also because they release water vapor through their leaves in a process called transpiration. In places where heat waves are becoming more common, urban trees are one of the simplest, most effective defenses against dangerous temperatures. Not only do trees cool the air, they also reduce energy costs for humans. Studies show that neighborhoods with large shade trees use significantly less electricity for air conditioning in summer months. By blocking direct sunlight from hitting walls, windows, and rooftops, trees cut down on indoor temperatures and make homes more comfortable. This simple act of shading can save families hundreds of dollars in energy bills each year. Trees are also powerful carbon sinks, pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and storing it in their trunks, branches, and roots. A mature tropical tree, for instance, can absorb around 50 pounds of carbon dioxide annually. Multiply that across the billions of trees in tropical forests, and it becomes clear how essential they are in slowing the pace of climate change. Protecting forests isn't just about saving biodiversity, it's about keeping Earth's climate livable. The Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the planet, is home to an estimated 390 billion individual trees. These trees represent more than 16,000 species, many of which are found nowhere else on Earth. The Amazon not only produces cloaks oxygen, but also plays a critical role in the global water cycle. The moisture released from Amazonian trees creates atmospheric rivers that bring rainfall to other continents, showing how deeply interconnected Earth's systems truly are. Sequoia trees have bark that can grow up to 3 feet thick, an adaptation that protects them from wildfires. Unlike most plants, sequoias don't just survive fires, they actually depend on them. The heat from flames opens their cones, releasing seeds onto nutrient-rich soil cleared of competition. Fire is a threat to many forests, but for sequoias, it is a partner in survival. This incredible resilience is one reason these giants have endured for thousands of years. The baobab tree of Africa has one of the strangest and most useful adaptations in the plant kingdom. Its massive trunk acts as a water reservoir. A single baobab can store thousands of gallons of water within its swollen bark, which allows it to survive in the harsh, arid climates of the savanna. Local communities have relied on baobabs during times of drought, tapping the stored water for survival. The tree has earned the nickname the Tree of Life because of its ability to sustain both humans and animals in desperate conditions. Mangrove trees thrive in salty, coastal waters where most plants would die. They have evolved special roots called pneumatophores that rise above the waterline like snorkels, allowing the tree to breathe even when its base is submerged in muddy, oxygen-poor soil. Mangroves also act as storm barriers, protecting coastlines from erosion and storm surges. Entire ecosystems of fish, crabs, and birds depend on mangrove forests, making them one of the most important hand-threatened tree habitats on Earth. The dragon's blood tree, found on the island of Socotra, is instantly recognizable for its umbrella-shaped canopy and striking red resin. When the bark is cut, the tree bleeds a dark crimson liquid that has been harvested for thousands of years. Ancient cultures used dragon's blood resin as medicine, dye, and even incense. The tree's unusual shape is more than just dramatic, it helps capture moisture from the air and funnels it down toward the roots, a vital adaptation in its dry desert environment. The cork oak is another tree with an extraordinary bark. Unlike most species, the cork oak can be harvested without killing the tree. Strips of its bark are carefully removed, and within a few years, the tree regenerates a fresh layer. This renewable resource has been used for centuries to make wine stoppers, insulation, and flooring. The cork oak is proof that humans and trees can coexist in a sustainable relationship when harvesting is done with respect. Paper birch trees have bark that is naturally waterproof and resistant to decay. Indigenous peoples of North America used birch bark to build canoes, craft containers, and even make roofing for shelters. Because the bark peels off in thin, flexible sheets, it was a versatile and valuable material in regions where other resources were scarce. Even today, birch bark is admired for its beauty and its incredible durability in wet environments. In the White Mountains of California grows a bristlecone pine named Methuselah. This tree is estimated to be over 4,800 years old, making it the oldest known non-clonal tree on Earth. It has stood silently through the rise and fall of civilizations, surviving brutal winters, dry summers, and centuries of storms. Its twisted bark and gnarled branches are living history, keeping a record of Earth's changing climate within its rings. Another bristlecone pine once lived in Nevada, known as Prometheus. In 1964, a researcher cut it down while studying tree ages, only to discover it was nearly 5,000 years old. Its death became one of botany's greatest losses, but the tree provided crucial data about climate patterns stretching back millennia. Though gone, Prometheus remains a sobering reminder of the fragility of ancient life. In Utah lies one of the most extraordinary living things on the planet, a colony of quaking aspens called Pando. What looks like a forest of tens of thousands of trees is actually one organism, all connected by a single underground root system. Pando is believed to be around 80,000 years old and weighs more than 6,000 tons, making it the heaviest known living organism on Earth. Each stem lives only about a century, but the root system endures across the ages. The coast redwood named Hyperion is the tallest living tree ever recorded. Hidden deep in Northern California, Hyperion stretches nearly 380 feet into the sky, taller than the Statue of Liberty. Its exact location is kept secret to protect it from human disturbance, but scientists who have studied it describe the experience as humbling. Standing at the base of a living skyscraper. In Tasmania grows the tallest flowering plant on Earth, the mountain ash eucalyptus. Some individuals have reached heights of over 330 feet, rivaling even the redwoods. Unlike conifers, these giants produce blossoms, making their towering size even more astonishing. They form entire forests that dominate the southern hemisphere, providing habitat for countless species. Sequoia National Park is home to General Sherman, the largest tree in the world by volume. At over 275 feet tall and 36 feet across at the base, its trunk contains more than 52,500 cubic feet of wood. General Sherman is not the tallest, nor the oldest, but in sheer size it surpasses all others. Each year it continues to grow, adding enough wood to build an entire small house. Trees are essential for life because of their ability to produce oxygen. A single mature tree can generate enough oxygen annually to support 2 people. Through photosynthesis, trees absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen, keeping Earth's atmosphere in balance. Without this simple but vital service, life as we know it could not exist. Forests have earned the nickname, the lungs of the planet. Collectively, they generate around 28% of the world's oxygen. Rainforests are particularly crucial, recycling moisture, filtering air, and creating weather systems that extend far beyond their borders. The Amazon alone is home to nearly 400 billion trees across more than 16,000 species, making it one of the most critical ecosystems on Earth. Individual trees play remarkable roles in their environments. A single large oak tree, for example, can release 100 gallons of water into the atmosphere each day through transpiration. This process cools the air, generates humidity, and contributes to rainfall. The oak is not only a keystone species for wildlife, but also an architect of local weather. Urban trees provide much more than beauty. Streets lined with mature shade trees can be 10 degrees cooler than nearby roads without them. Their canopies block sunlight, reduce asphalt heat absorption, and create microclimates that make summer heat waves far less deadly. In cities where concrete dominates, trees are not decoration, they are survival. The cooling benefits of trees extend to energy savings. Homes shaded by large trees can reduce air conditioning use by up to 30% during hot months. This translates into lower electricity bills, less strain on power grids, and a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. One tree may seem small, but a neighborhood of them becomes a natural air conditioner. Trees are also massive carbon sinks. A mature tropical tree can absorb around 50 pounds of carbon dioxide per year. Across entire forests, this adds up to billions of tons of carbon removed from the atmosphere. Protecting trees is one of the most effective natural defenses against climate change. The Amazon rainforest is home to the greatest diversity of trees on Earth. Scientists estimate there are 16,000 species and around 390 billion individual trees there. This forest not only produces oxygen, but also regulates rainfall across South America and beyond. Moisture from its trees forms atmospheric rivers that influence weather as far away as the United States. Giant sequoias have developed one of nature's most extraordinary defenses against fire. Their bark can grow up to 3 feet thick and is filled with tannins that make it resistant to flames and insects. Instead of destroying sequoias, fires often help them, clearing undergrowth and opening their cones so new seedlings can sprout. That the baobab tree of Africa is another marvel of adaptation. Its swollen trunk can store thousands of gallons of water, making it a living reservoir during drought. Communities and animals rely on baobabs in dry seasons, and their fruit is packed with vitamin C and antioxidants. With lifespans reaching 2,000 years, they are fittingly called trees of life. Mangrove trees are among the only plants that can thrive in salty seawater. They have evolved specialized roots that filter out salt and pneumatophore snorkel-like roots that stick up from the mud to capture oxygen. These coastal trees form nurseries for fish and shield coastlines from storm surges. Without mangroves, erosion and flooding would devastate tropical shores. The dragon's blood tree, native to Socotra, is unlike any other. With its umbrella-shaped crown and crimson resin, it looks otherworldly. The red sap has been harvested for centuries as medicine, varnish, and incense. Its unusual form is a clever adaptation to arid conditions, catching moisture from the air and shading its roots from the desert sun. The cork oak of the Mediterranean is a unique renewable resource. Its bark regenerates after being harvested, allowing humans to collect cork without harming the tree. Strips are peeled every 9 years, and the tree continues to thrive. For centuries, cork oaks have provided the stoppers that seal wine bottles and the material for insulation and flooring. Paper. Birch trees are named for their thin, papery bark, which is naturally waterproof and resistant to rot. Indigenous peoples of North America used birch bark for canoes, shelters, and containers, taking advantage of its light weight and durability. Even today, birch bark remains a symbol of resilience and versatility in harsh northern environments. The rainbow eucalyptus of the Philippines is one of the most colorful trees in the world. Its bark peels off in strips, revealing layers of green, orange, purple, and red beneath. The effect is a living rainbow trunk that seems almost painted by hand. These trees are planted worldwide, not just for their beauty but also for pulpwood and reforestation. The banyan tree is famous for its ability to grow forests from a single seed. Its branches send down aerial roots that thicken into trunks when they touch the ground. Over centuries, a single banyan can cover acres of land and appear as a grove, though it is technically one tree. In India, one banyan provides shade for over 20,000 people at once. The kapok tree towers above the Amazon rainforest canopy, rising over 200 feet high. Its massive trunk and spreading crown make it a habitat for birds, insects, monkeys, and even reptiles. Local cultures use its fluffy seed fibers to make pillows and mattresses. The kapok tree is a literal pillar of the forest, supporting life from roots to canopy. The monkey puzzle tree of South America has spiky, scale-like leaves that deter grazing animals. With a strange, prehistoric look, it has existed since the time of dinosaurs. Its large seeds are edible and were once a staple food for indigenous peoples of Chile and Argentina. Today, it is cultivated as an ornamental tree around the world. Bottle trees, found in arid parts of Africa and Australia, have swollen, bottle-shaped trunks designed to store water. Their unique shape makes them look almost cartoonish, but their adaptation is a matter of survival. During drought, they rely on their stored reserves to endure months of dryness. The cannonball tree, native to South America, produces huge spherical fruits that dangle from its trunk and branches. These fruits resemble brown cannonballs, sometimes reaching up to 10 pounds each. They are accompanied by vibrant, fragrant flowers that attract pollinators. In some cultures, the tree is considered sacred and planted near temples. The sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, though technically not a tree, shows how plants can behave in surprising ways. Its leaves fold inward instantly when touched, a phenomenon called Scientists believe this movement deters herbivores or shakes off insects, Children and gardeners worldwide are fascinated by its shy behavior. The ginkgo tree is a living fossil, virtually unchanged for 200 million years. Its fan-shaped leaves turn golden yellow in autumn, creating breathtaking displays. Ginkgo trees survived the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and still grow there today, symbols of resilience and endurance. Their seeds and leaves have been used in traditional medicine for centuries. Deciduous trees like oaks often display a trait called marcescence, where they hold onto dead leaves through winter. The withered foliage may protect new buds from frost or deter browsing animals. Come spring, the old leaves finally fall, making way for fresh growth. This strange habit is another reminder of the many strategies trees use to adapt. Eucalyptus trees are masters of conserving water. Instead of growing leaves that spread horizontally, many species hang their leaves vertically, reducing the surface exposed to harsh sunlight. This small adjustment makes a huge difference in dry Australian landscapes, allowing them to survive heat that would kill most plants. The raffia palm produces the largest leaves in the world, some reaching lengths of 82 feet. These leaves are harvested for thatching, mats, and rope in tropical regions. Their sheer size makes them look almost prehistoric. Towering above human settlements, conifers like pines and spruces have evolved needle-shaped leaves covered in wax. This adaptation reduces water loss in freezing or dry conditions. The needles can survive for years before being shed, allowing conifers to remain evergreen and photosynthesize year-round, even in harsh winters. The double coconut, also called coco de mer, produces the largest seed in the plant kingdom. Found only on a few islands in the Seychelles, its seeds can weigh up to 55 pounds. Their unusual shape resembles two coconuts fused together, and for centuries they were believed to have magical properties. Maple trees disperse their seeds with ingenious helicopter-like wings called samaras. When the seeds fall, they spin through the air, traveling farther from the parent tree. This simple design gives the tree's offspring a better chance to establish themselves in new territory. Acorns, the seeds of oak trees, take an unusually long time to mature. Depending on the species, they may require anywhere from 6 to 24 months to ripen fully. Once mature, they become an essential food source for wildlife. From squirrels to deer, the Brazil nut tree depends on a single species of large bee to pollinate its flowers. Without this bee, the tree cannot reproduce. Its heavy fruits contain seeds Brazil nuts that humans prize for their nutritional value. The tree is a prime example of how delicate and interconnected ecosystems can be. Some desert trees, like the mesquite, produce seeds that can remain viable for decades. Even if conditions are too dry for germination, the seeds wait patiently in the soil until rains arrive. This adaptation ensures that new trees will only sprout when survival is possible. Mango trees are remarkably long. Some individuals can continue producing fruit for more than 300 years. Across tropical regions, mango trees have been planted for generations, serving as both food sources and cultural symbols of abundance. The cacao tree, native to the Amazon basin, produces pods directly from its trunk and large branches. Inside these pods are seeds that, when fermented and roasted, become cocoa basis for chocolate. The tree has been cultivated for over 3,000 years and was considered sacred by ancient Mesoamerican cultures. Cherry blossom trees, beloved in Japan, bloom in spectacular displays each spring. The blossoms symbolize the fleeting nature of life, since their beauty lasts only a short time before the petals fall. Festivals called Hanami celebrate the blossoms, drawing millions of people to view the pink and white canopies. The olive tree is another species deeply tied to human history. Some olive trees are over 1,000 years old and still produce fruit. Cultivated for more than 6,000 years, olives and olive oil remain staples of Mediterranean diets. The olive branch has become a universal symbol of peace. The Bodhi tree is one of the most spiritually significant trees in the world, revered as the very spot where Siddhartha Gautama, later known as the Buddha, achieved enlightenment more than 2,500 years ago. Located in Bodh Gaya, India, this sacred fig tree has become a pilgrimage site for millions of Buddhists and seekers worldwide. The original tree may have died centuries ago, but it was replaced with direct descendants grown from cuttings, keeping its sacred lineage alive. Under its expansive canopy, monks meditate, pilgrims leave offerings, and stories of peace and wisdom are shared. The Bodhi tree is more than a living organism. is a timeless symbol of awakening, spiritual growth, and the deep connection between nature and human consciousness. The oak tree has long been a symbol of strength, endurance, and protection in cultures across Europe. In Celtic tradition, oaks were considered gateways between worlds. Their sprawling branches and deep roots connecting heaven and earth. Ancient Druids held ceremonies in oak groves, believing the trees to be sacred vessels of wisdom. Oaks also provide vital ecological services. They support more species of insects, birds, and mammals than almost any other tree in temperate regions. Their acorns feed wildlife throughout autumn, while their dense wood has been used for centuries in shipbuilding, architecture, and furniture. The oak's ability to live for centuries makes it both a cultural icon and a keystone species in countless ecosystems. The cedar tree of Lebanon is another tree steeped in both history and legend. These towering evergreens were prized in the ancient world for their fragrant, rot-resistant timber, which was used by the Phoenicians to build ships, by Egyptians for temples, and even in the construction of King Solomon's temple, according to biblical accounts. Today, the cedar stands proudly on the flag of Lebanon, symbolizing resilience, endurance, and sacredness. In the wild, these trees can live for more than 1,000 years, clinging to rugged mountain slopes where they withstand snow, wind, and heat. Their forests are among the most ecologically valuable in the Mediterranean, providing habitat for diverse species while anchoring soil and preventing erosion. The olive tree has been cultivated for over 6,000 years and is deeply tied to human civilization. In ancient Greece, olive branches were awarded to Olympic victors, symbolizing peace and honor. Olive oil was used not just for cooking but also for medicine, lamp fuel, and sacred rituals. Some olive trees planted during the Roman Empire are still alive today, continuing to bear fruit after more than 1,000 years. Their resilience is extraordinary. Olive trees can regenerate from their roots, even if their trunks are destroyed by fire or frost. The symbolism of the olive branch as a gesture of peace persists across cultures, making this tree as meaningful in our imaginations as it is in our diets. The cherry blossom, or sakura, is celebrated each spring in Japan during the tradition of Hanami, which means flower viewing. These trees explode into clouds of soft pink and white blossoms that last only a week or two before scattering like confetti. Their fleeting beauty has become a metaphor for the impermanence of life, reminding people to cherish each moment. Festivals draw millions of visitors to parks and temples where families and friends picnic beneath the blossoms. Cherry blossoms also play a role in diplomacy. Japan gifted thousands of trees to Washington, D.C. in 1912 as a symbol of friendship, and every spring the U.S. Capitol holds its own cherry blossom festival. Beyond beauty, the cherry tree reflects humanity's deep emotional connection to the cycles of nature. The willow tree is often associated with sorrow and mourning, its long, graceful branches bending like a person bowed in grief. Yet willows are also remarkable for their resilience. If a branch breaks and lands in damp soil, it can sprout roots and grow into a new tree. This regenerative power has made willows symbols of both sadness and renewal. Medicinally, willow bark was the original source of salicylic acid, which led to the development of aspirin, one of the world's most widely used medicines. Willows grow quickly, often along riverbanks and wetlands, where they help stabilize soil and reduce flooding. With their beauty, practicality, and symbolism, willows demonstrate how trees can embody both fragility and strength. The Neem tree, native to India, has been called the village pharmacy for its extraordinary medicinal properties. Every part of the tree leaves, bark, seeds, and oil has been used in traditional Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. Neem oil acts as a natural pesticide and skin treatment, while neem twigs have been used as toothbrushes to maintain oral health. Modern science has confirmed many of neem's antibacterial, antifungal, and insecticidal properties, making it a cornerstone of both traditional and modern medicine. In addition to its healing abilities, neem is a hardy tree that thrives in arid climates, providing shade, timber, and soil improvement in some of the harshest environments on Earth. The banyan tree is often described as a forest within a tree, thanks to its sprawling aerial roots that descend from branches and thicken into trunks when they reach the ground. Over centuries, a single banyan can cover entire acres of land, forming a natural maze of interconnected trunks and canopies. One famous banyan in India is said to shelter more than 20,000 people under its shade. In Hindu mythology, the banyan is seen as a tree of immortality, representing eternal life due to its ever-expanding structure. Ecologically, it provides food and shelter to birds, bats, and countless insects, while culturally it serves as a meeting place for communities and religious gatherings. The banyan embodies abundance, interconnectedness, and resilience. The eucalyptus tree of Australia is one of the fastest growing and most adaptable trees in the world. Some species can shoot up by more than 6 feet in a single year, and certain eucalyptus trees are among the tallest on Earth. Their leaves are filled with aromatic oils that can deter pests and are used to make medicines, cough drops, and essential oils. Koalas feed almost exclusively on eucalyptus leaves, which contain toxins few other animals can digest. Eucalyptus forests also play a role in fire ecology. Their oils are highly flammable, and bushfires release seeds from their tough pods, ensuring regeneration. The tree is a paradox, both protective and dangerous, fragile and fierce. The sequoia and redwood forests of California hold some of the largest and tallest trees on Earth, creating ecosystems unlike any other. Some of these trees have lived for over 3,000 years, their trunks towering like natural cathedrals. Walking among them feels like stepping back in time. Their bark, thick and spongy, resists fire and insects, allowing them to endure for millennia. In addition to their staggering size, these trees are vital for carbon storage. One sequoia can hold more carbon than an entire acre of typical forest. Scientists believe protecting these ancient groves is not just about saving beautiful trees, it's about safeguarding critical allies in the fight against climate change. Asterisk. The baobab tree of Africa is often called the tree of life, and it lives up to this name in remarkable ways. Its massive, swollen trunk acts as a natural water reservoir, capable of storing thousands of gallons to endure the dry seasons. In times of drought, humans and animals alike turn to the baobab for survival, drawing upon the moisture it has locked away. Its fruit, sometimes called monkey bread, is rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, providing nutrition for communities in regions where food can be scarce. Beyond sustenance, baobabs hold cultural significance as gathering places and symbols of longevity. With some specimens living for more than 2,000 years, their bare branches in the dry season resemble roots reaching into the sky, giving rise to legends that the trees were planted upside down by the gods. Asterisk. Mangrove forests are one of nature's most ingenious defenses against the ocean's power. These trees thrive in brackish water, where salt and flooding would kill most plants. With their tangled, stilt-like roots, mangroves anchor coastlines and provide habitats for countless marine species. Their roots act as nurseries for fish, crabs, and shrimp, while above water they shelter nesting birds and roosting bats. Mangroves also serve as a buffer against storms, breaking waves and reducing the damage of hurricanes and tsunamis. On a global scale, mangroves are among the most efficient carbon sinks, storing carbon in their soils for thousands of years. Despite their resilience, they are threatened by deforestation and development, making their preservation vital for both biodiversity and coastal protection. Asterisk, the dragon's blood tree of Socotra is one of the most visually striking trees in the world, with its broad umbrella-shaped canopy that seems almost sculpted by human hands. When cut, its bark oozes a crimson resin known as dragon's blood, used for centuries as medicine, dye, and incense. In ancient times, people believed this red sap had magical properties and used it in rituals and alchemy. Ecologically, the tree's unusual canopy helps capture moisture from mist and fog, funneling precious water toward its roots in the arid desert. Endemic to Socotra, an island so unique it has been called the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean, the dragon's blood tree symbolizes both the fragility and resilience of life in harsh environments. Cork oaks have a special adaptation that makes them one of the most sustainable trees in human history. Their bark regenerates after being harvested. Every 9 years, farmers carefully strip the outer bark, which grows back without harming the tree. This renewable resource provides cork for wine stoppers, flooring, and insulation. The cork oak can live for centuries, undergoing dozens of harvest cycles, and during this time, it also provides shade, acorns, and habitat for wildlife in Mediterranean landscapes. Cork harvesting has even been shown to improve biodiversity, as the managed forests maintain a balance of open woodland and grazing pasture that supports countless species. The cork oak demonstrates that human use of trees can, with care, be a relationship of renewal rather than destruction. The rainbow eucalyptus is one of the most spectacular trees in the tropics, famous for its multicolored bark. As the tree sheds strips of its outer layer, new bark beneath is revealed in shades of bright green, orange, purple, and red. Over time, these patches shift and blend, creating a living rainbow that spirals up the trunk. Native to the Philippines, Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia, the rainbow eucalyptus has been planted worldwide for both its beauty and its usefulness in producing pulpwood. Its striking appearance has also made it a popular subject of photography and art. The tree is a reminder that evolution doesn't just design for function, it can also create living masterpieces. The monkey puzzle tree, native to Chile and Argentina, looks like something from a prehistoric world, and in fact, it is. This species has survived since the age of dinosaurs, with fossil records showing it once grew across much of the globe. Its spiny, scale-like leaves deter herbivores from eating it, and its massive cones produce large edible seeds that were a staple food for indigenous peoples. The monkey puzzle tree is now endangered due to logging and habitat loss, but it remains culturally significant, especially for the Mapuche people of South America. Its odd, geometric appearance has also made it a popular ornamental tree in gardens around the world, where it continues to puzzle and amaze those who encounter it. The banyan tree, often described as a forest within a tree, deserves a second look for its cultural importance. In India, banyans are considered sacred, representing immortality and shelter. Many villages developed around a central banyan tree, using its vast canopy as a gathering place for markets, councils, and ceremonies. Legends tell of sages meditating beneath banyans, drawing wisdom from their eternal growth. Scientifically, banyans demonstrate a form of vegetative expansion, sending down aerial roots that create new trunks, allowing the tree to spread indefinitely. Some banyans have thousands of trunks and cover acres of land, supporting entire ecosystems beneath their shade. They are living metaphors for community and connection. The kapok tree, towering above the canopy of tropical rainforests, is an ecological giant. Its massive trunk and high branches provide shelter for monkeys, birds, and insects. The tree's large fluffy seed fibers, often used in pillows and mattresses, allow the seeds to float long distances across rivers and forests. For indigenous peoples of the Amazon, the kapok is sacred, believed to connect the heavens, earth, and underworld. Its presence in the forest is more than physical, it is cultural and spiritual, a bridge between people and nature. In many ways, the kapok embodies the richness of the rainforest itself, both a biological resource and a cultural symbol. The cannonball tree, named for the large spherical fruits that dangle from its trunk, is another South American oddity. Its fragrant flowers bloom directly from the bark, an adaptation known as These flowers attract pollinators like bats and bees, while the heavy cannonball-like fruits fall to the ground, splitting open to release seeds. In some cultures, the tree is considered sacred and planted near temples, where its blossoms are offered in rituals. Despite its unusual appearance, The cannonball tree plays a vital role in its ecosystem, providing food for animals and cultural meaning for humans. The willow tree, with its drooping branches and graceful form, has long been associated with sorrow, but it also possesses remarkable healing powers. The bark of the willow contains salicin, a compound that inspired the creation of aspirin. For centuries, willow bark was used as a remedy for pain and fever, long before modern medicine confirmed its effectiveness. Willows also excel at regeneration. If a branch falls into damp soil, it can take root and grow into a new tree. Along rivers and wetlands, willows stabilize banks and prevent erosion, creating habitats for birds and fish. They are both poetic symbols of grief and practical allies in medicine and ecology. The neem tree, native to India, has been used for thousands of years in traditional medicine. Its leaves, bark, and oil contain compounds with antibacterial, antifungal, and insecticidal properties. Villagers still use neem twigs as natural toothbrushes, while neem oil is applied to skin conditions and used as a pesticide. Modern science has validated many of these uses, making neem one of the most important medicinal trees in the world. Beyond healing, neem trees are drought-tolerant and improve soil fertility, making them valuable in reforestation projects. For many rural communities, neem truly is the village pharmacy. Ginkgo, often called a living fossil, has survived for more than 200 million years, virtually unchanged since the age of dinosaurs. Its unique fan-shaped leaves turn a brilliant yellow in autumn, creating breathtaking landscapes in cities and temples across Asia. Ginkgo trees are incredibly resilient, able to withstand pollution, pests, and even the atomic bombing of Hiroshima, where several trees survived and continue to grow today. Ginkgo leaves and seeds have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, and modern studies suggest potential benefits for memory and circulation. With its ancient lineage and unyielding endurance, the ginkgo stands as a symbol of survival and continuity. The giant sequoias of California are the largest organisms by volume on Earth. Some are over 3,000 years old, towering more than 250 feet tall, with trunks so wide that tunnels have been carved through them. Their thick bark, up to 3 feet deep, protects them from fire and insects. Fires, in fact, are necessary for sequoias to reproduce, as the heat opens their cones and clears the ground for seedlings to grow. These colossal trees store enormous amounts of carbon, making them crucial allies against climate change. Visiting a sequoia grove is often described as a spiritual experience. Standing among giants that have witnessed the rise and fall of entire civilizations, redwood trees, close relatives of the sequoias, hold the title of the tallest trees in the world. The tallest, Hyperion, stands nearly 380 feet tall. Redwoods thrive in coastal California, where fog provides moisture that sustains them through dry summers. Their ecosystems are rich and unique, supporting banana slugs, marbled murrelets, and countless other species. Redwoods also grow in interconnected groves, their shallow roots intertwining for stability against storms and floods. Logging decimated much of their habitat in the 19th century, but conservation efforts have saved key groves, ensuring that these living skyscrapers continue to inspire awe. The double coconut palm of the Seychelles produces the largest seeds in the plant kingdom, with individual nuts weighing up to 55 pounds, known as coco de mer. These massive seeds resemble two coconuts fused together and have fueled myths and legends for centuries. In medieval Europe, they were thought to come from underwater trees in the Indian Ocean. The palms themselves can live for hundreds of years, their enormous leaves providing shade and their fruits valued for their rarity. Coco de mer remains a symbol of the exotic and the mysterious in nature. The raffia palm, native to Africa, produces the longest leaves in the plant world, stretching up to 82 feet. These enormous leaves are harvested to make mats, baskets, and roofing, playing an important role in local economies. The tree's leaf fibers are also used to create raffia, a versatile material prized worldwide in crafts and textiles. The sheer size of raffia leaves makes them appear almost prehistoric, dwarfing those who walk beneath them. The palm demonstrates nature's ability to scale up even the simplest structures, like leaves, to monumental proportions. The linden tree, also called the lime or basswood, has long been cherished in European villages as a community tree. Its fragrant flowers attract bees, producing high-quality honey, while its large leaves provide cooling shade. In medieval times, meetings, festivals, and court proceedings were often held beneath linden trees, which were seen as symbols of justice and peace. Linden flowers have also been used in traditional medicine as a calming tea to reduce stress and insomnia. In literature and folklore, the linden is frequently associated with love, fidelity, and harmony. Its presence at the heart of communities demonstrates how trees shape not just landscapes but social life. The cottonwood tree thrives along rivers and floodplains. In North America, growing quickly and reaching great heights, its seeds are encased in fluffy white fibers that drift through the air like snow in summer, giving the tree its name. Cottonwoods provide vital habitat for birds and shade for fish in streams, cooling waters for aquatic life. Indigenous peoples used cottonwood bark for medicinal purposes and carved canoes from its trunks. Despite being relatively short-lived compared to oaks or pines, cottonwoods play a crucial role in riparian ecosystems, stabilizing soils and filtering water. The dogwood tree is cherished for its spring blossoms, which burst into white, pink, or red displays. In Christian tradition, the dogwood is associated with the crucifixion, and legends claim its cross-shaped flowers reflect this symbolism. Dogwood wood is dense and fine-grained, once used for tool handles and weaving shuttles. Ecologically, dogwoods provide nectar for pollinators and berries for birds. Their beauty has made them popular ornamental trees, planted along streets and gardens worldwide. In both spiritual and ecological contexts, dogwoods demonstrate how small, graceful trees can have a big impact. The mahogany tree is one of the most valuable tropical hardwoods, renowned for its deep reddish-brown color and durability. For centuries, mahogany has been used in furniture, boats, and musical instruments, symbolizing luxury and craftsmanship. However, overharvesting has pushed many mahogany species toward endangerment, leading to strict trade regulations. In the forest, mahogany trees grow tall and straight, providing habitat for diverse wildlife. They serve as a cautionary tale of how human demand can endanger even the strongest of trees, and why sustainable forestry is essential for the future. The ebony tree produces some of the densest and darkest wood in the world, prized for carving and instrument making. Its jet-black heartwood has been used for centuries to create piano keys, chess pieces, and decorative inlays. However, the tree grows slowly, and unsustainable logging has made many ebony species rare and protected. In traditional cultures, ebony wood was often associated with wealth and prestige. The tree itself, with its glossy leaves and small flowers, is modest in appearance compared to the value hidden in its core. The teak tree of Southeast Asia produces one of the most durable timbers known. Its natural oils make it resistant to water, rot, and pests, which is why it has been used for centuries in shipbuilding and outdoor furniture. Teak plantations are now common across tropical regions, but old-growth teak forests remain ecologically significant. In traditional medicine, teak leaves have been used for treating headaches and wounds. Teak's reputation for strength and longevity reflects the qualities of the forests where it originates. The beech tree, with its smooth grey bark and spreading canopy, is often called the mother of the forest. Its dense foliage creates deep shade, where only certain shade-tolerant plants can survive. Beech nuts provide food for wildlife, while the tree itself supports diverse fungi and insects. In European folklore, beech trees were seen as symbols of wisdom, and their wood was used to make the first writing tablets. Even the word book is thought to be related to beech, highlighting the tree's association with knowledge. The chestnut tree once dominated the forests of eastern North America, providing food, timber, and shade for countless communities. Its nuts fed both people and livestock, while its straight-grained wood was used for homes, barns, and furniture. Tragically, a fungal blight introduced in the early 20th century wiped out billions of American chestnuts, changing the face of the forest forever. Efforts are now underway to breed blight-resistant chestnuts and restore them to their former glory. The chestnut story is one of abundance, loss, and hopeful revival. *The jacaranda tree is one of the most visually enchanting trees in the world, famous for its explosion of lavender blue blossoms that blanket streets and landscapes each spring. Native to South America but planted widely across Africa, Australia, and the southern United States, jacarandas transform urban areas into dreamlike scenes when in bloom. Beneath their canopies, the ground becomes a carpet of fallen petals, creating a magical effect that has inspired artists, poets, and photographers. While prized for their beauty, Jacarandas also provide shade in hot climates and wood that is sometimes used for crafting. In places like Pretoria, South Africa, named the Jacaranda City, these trees have become part of cultural identity, symbolizing growth, renewal, and the fleeting nature of beauty. The kapok tree deserves deeper attention, not only for its immense size, but also for its ecological importance in tropical forests. Rising above the canopy, kapoks act as skyscrapers of the jungle, supporting countless species of animals that cannot survive without them. Their enormous trunks provide niches for bats, snakes, and birds, while the flowers produce nectar that sustains bats and insects. The fluffy fibers that surround kapok seeds are buoyant and water-resistant, which once made them invaluable for stuffing life jackets and mattresses before synthetic materials took over. In the mythology of the Maya and other indigenous peoples, the kapok tree was considered the world tree, connecting the heavens, earth, and the underworld. Few trees embody both ecological power and spiritual reverence as clearly as the kapok. The banyan tree, already noted for its aerial roots, also plays a unique role in community life throughout South Asia. Many villages formed around a central banyan, using its sprawling canopy as a natural meeting hall. Its shade was a refuge from the blistering sun, and its vast network of trunks created natural pavilions. Banyans feature heavily in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, symbolizing eternal life and spiritual shelter. In some stories, gods and sages rested beneath banyans to meditate and gain wisdom. Even today, banyan trees are planted near temples and shrines, continuing to link human spirituality with the natural world. The sheer size and endurance of a banyan make it a reminder of the interconnectedness of life and community. The African shea tree provides one of the most valuable natural products in the world, shea butter. This creamy fat, extracted from the nuts of the tree, has been used for centuries across Africa for cooking, skincare, and medicine. Shea butter moisturizes and protects the skin, making it a prized ingredient in global cosmetics and wellness industries. The tree itself is hardy, thriving in the dry savannas of West Africa, where few other trees can survive. It takes decades to mature, and many shea trees are hundreds of years old, silently sustaining entire communities. Beyond its commercial value, the shea tree is interwoven with local traditions, often revered as a gift from the earth to sustain families through generations. The coconut palm is sometimes called the tree of 1,000 uses, because nearly every part of it can be utilized by humans. Its fruits provide coconut water, a refreshing drink packed with electrolytes, and coconut meat, which is used in cuisines worldwide. The husk yields coir, a fiber used in ropes and mats, while the shells are fashioned into utensils and fuel. The leaves are woven into roofing and baskets, and the trunk can be used for building. In many island cultures, the coconut palm is not just a tree but a lifeline, sustaining communities with food, water, shelter, and tools. Coconuts also have the remarkable ability to float across oceans, allowing the species to spread naturally across tropical coastlines. The acacia tree, iconic across the African savanna, is not only an ecological keystone but also a master of survival strategies. Some acacias have developed symbiotic relationships with ants. The tree provides nectar and shelter in hollow thorns, while the ants defend the tree from herbivores. In one of nature's most fascinating partnerships, these tiny guardians swarm over giraffes and elephants that attempt to browse the leaves, deterring them from feeding. The acacia's umbrella-shaped canopy also creates microhabitats beneath it, shading grasses and attracting wildlife. In many African cultures, acacias represent protection, resilience, and the harsh beauty of the savanna. The cedar of the Himalayas is revered as sacred in Indian and Nepalese traditions, where it is often planted around temples and monasteries. Known as Deodar in Sanskrit, meaning timber of the gods, the tree is associated with divinity, strength, and purity. Its wood is fragrant and resistant to rot, historically used in building temples and palaces. The cedar also produces essential oils that are used in medicine and incense. Towering over mountain landscapes, the Deodar cedar embodies majesty and endurance, anchoring human spirituality to the stability of nature. Its presence in Himalayan culture and ecosystems cements it as both a religious symbol and a practical resource. The linden tree, also called the lime or basswood, has long been cherished in European villages as a community tree. Its fragrant flowers attract bees, producing high-quality honey, while its large leaves provide cooling shade. In medieval times, meetings, festivals, and court proceedings were often held beneath linden trees, which were seen as symbols of justice and peace. Linden flowers have also been used in traditional medicine as a calming tea to reduce stress and insomnia. In literature and folklore, the linden is frequently associated with love, fidelity, and harmony. Its presence at the heart of communities demonstrates how trees shape not just landscapes but social life. The cottonwood tree thrives along rivers and floodplains. In North America, growing quickly and reaching great heights, its seeds are encased in fluffy white fibers that drift through the air like snow in summer, giving the tree its name. Cottonwoods provide vital habitat for birds and shade for fish in streams, cooling waters for aquatic life. Indigenous peoples used cottonwood bark for medicinal purposes and carved canoes from its trunks. Despite being relatively short-lived compared to oaks or pines, cottonwoods play a crucial role in riparian ecosystems, stabilizing soils and filtering water. The dogwood tree is cherished for its spring blossoms, which burst into white, pink, or red displays. In Christian tradition, the dogwood is associated with the crucifixion, and legends claim its cross-shaped flowers reflect this symbolism. Dogwood wood is dense and fine-grained, once used for tool handles and weaving shuttles. Ecologically, dogwoods provide nectar for pollinators and berries for birds. Their beauty has made them popular ornamental trees, planted along streets and gardens worldwide. In both spiritual and ecological contexts, dogwoods demonstrate how small, graceful trees can have a big impact. The mahogany tree is one of the most valuable tropical hardwoods, renowned for its deep reddish-brown color and durability. For centuries, mahogany has been used in furniture, boats, and musical instruments, symbolizing luxury and craftsmanship. However, overharvesting has pushed many mahogany species toward endangerment, leading to strict trade regulations. In the forest, mahogany trees grow tall and straight, providing habitat for diverse wildlife. They serve as a cautionary tale of how human demand can endanger even the strongest of trees, and why sustainable forestry is essential for the future. The ebony tree produces some of the densest and darkest wood in the world, prized for carving and instrument making. Its jet-black heartwood has been used for centuries to create piano keys, chess pieces, and decorative inlays. However, the tree grows slowly, and unsustainable logging has made many ebony species rare and protected. In traditional cultures, ebony wood was often associated with wealth and prestige. The tree itself, with its glossy leaves and small flowers, is modest in appearance compared to the value hidden in its core. The teak tree of Southeast Asia produces one of the most durable timbers known. Its natural oils make it resistant to water, rot, and pests, which is why it has been used for centuries in shipbuilding and outdoor furniture. Teak plantations are now common across tropical regions, but old-growth teak forests remain ecologically significant. In traditional medicine, teak leaves have been used for treating headaches and wounds. Teak's reputation for strength and longevity reflects the qualities of the forests where it originates. The beech tree, with its smooth gray bark and spreading canopy, is often called the mother of the forest. Its dense foliage creates deep shade, where only certain shade-tolerant plants can survive. Beech nuts provide food for wildlife, while the tree itself supports diverse fungi and insects. In European folklore, beech trees were seen as symbols of wisdom, and their wood was used to make the first writing tablets. Even the word book is thought to be related to beech, highlighting the tree's association with knowledge. The chestnut tree once dominated the forests of eastern North America, providing food, timber, and shade for countless communities. Its nuts fed both people and livestock, while its straight-grained wood was used for homes, barns, and furniture. Tragically, a fungal blight introduced in the early 20th century wiped out billions of American chestnuts, changing the face of the forest forever. Efforts are now underway to breed blight-resistant chestnuts and restore them to their former glory. The chestnut story is one of abundance, loss, and hopeful revival. *The jacaranda tree is one of the most visually enchanting trees in the world, famous for its explosion of lavender blue blossoms that blanket streets and landscapes each spring. Native to South America but planted widely across Africa, Australia, and the southern United States, jacarandas transform urban areas into dreamlike scenes when in bloom. Beneath their canopies, the ground becomes a carpet of fallen petals, creating a magical effect that has inspired artists, poets, and photographers. While prized for their beauty, Jacarandas also provide shade in hot climates and wood that is sometimes used for crafting. In places like Pretoria, South Africa, named the Jacaranda City, these trees have become part of cultural identity, symbolizing growth, renewal, and the fleeting nature of beauty. The kapok tree deserves deeper attention, not only for its immense size, but also for its ecological importance in tropical forests. Rising above the canopy, kapoks act as skyscrapers of the jungle, supporting countless species of animals that cannot survive without them. Their enormous trunks provide niches for bats, snakes, and birds, while the flowers produce nectar that sustains bats and insects. The fluffy fibers that surround kapok seeds are buoyant and water-resistant, which once made them invaluable for stuffing life jackets and mattresses before synthetic materials took over. In the mythology of the Maya and other indigenous peoples, the kapok tree was considered the world tree, connecting the heavens, earth, and the underworld. Few trees embody both ecological power and spiritual reverence as clearly as the kapok. The banyan tree, already noted for its aerial roots, also plays a unique role in community life throughout South Asia. Many villages formed around a central banyan, using its sprawling canopy as a natural meeting hall. Its shade was a refuge from the blistering sun, and its vast network of trunks created natural pavilions. Banyans feature heavily in Hindu and Buddhist traditions, symbolizing eternal life and spiritual shelter. In some stories, gods and sages rested beneath banyans to meditate and gain wisdom. Even today, banyan trees are planted near temples and shrines, continuing to link human spirituality with the natural world. The sheer size and endurance of a banyan make it a reminder of the interconnectedness of life and community. The African shea tree provides one of the most valuable natural products in the world, shea butter. This creamy fat, extracted from the nuts of the tree, has been used for centuries across Africa for cooking, skincare, and medicine. Shea butter moisturizes and protects the skin, making it a prized ingredient in global cosmetics and wellness industries. The tree itself is hardy, thriving in the dry savannas of West Africa, where few other trees can survive. It takes decades to mature, and many shea trees are hundreds of years old, silently sustaining entire communities. Beyond its commercial value, the shea tree is interwoven with local traditions, often revered as a gift from the earth to sustain families through generations. The coconut palm is sometimes called the tree of 1,000 uses, because nearly every part of it can be utilized by humans. Its fruits provide coconut water, a refreshing drink packed with electrolytes, and coconut meat, which is used in cuisines worldwide. The husk yields coir, a fiber used in ropes and mats, while the shells are fashioned into utensils and fuel. The leaves are woven into roofing and baskets, and the trunk can be used for building. In many island cultures, the coconut palm is not just a tree but a lifeline, sustaining communities with food, water, shelter, and tools. Coconuts also have the remarkable ability to float across oceans, allowing the species to spread naturally across tropical coastlines. The acacia tree, iconic across the African savanna, is not only an ecological keystone but also a master of survival strategies. Some acacias have developed symbiotic relationships with ants. The tree provides nectar and shelter in hollow thorns, while the ants defend the tree from herbivores. In one of nature's most fascinating partnerships, these tiny guardians swarm over giraffes and elephants that attempt to browse the leaves, deterring them from feeding. The acacia's umbrella-shaped canopy also creates microhabitats beneath it, shading grasses and attracting wildlife. In many African cultures, acacias represent protection, resilience, and the harsh beauty of the savanna. The cedar of the Himalayas is revered as sacred in Indian and Nepalese traditions, where it is often planted around temples and monasteries. Known as Deodar in Sanskrit, meaning timber of the gods, the tree is associated with divinity, strength, and purity. Its wood is fragrant and resistant to rot, historically used in building temples and palaces. The cedar also produces essential oils that are used in medicine and incense. Towering over mountain landscapes, the Deodar cedar embodies majesty and endurance, anchoring human spirituality to the stability of nature. Its presence in Himalayan culture and ecosystems cements it as both a religious symbol and a practical resource. The African moringa tree, sometimes called the miracle tree, is a nutritional powerhouse. Its leaves are packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals, and can be eaten fresh, cooked, or dried into powder. Communities in arid regions rely on moringa leaves to combat malnutrition, while its seeds purify water by binding impurities and causing them to settle. The tree grows quickly and tolerates drought, making it invaluable in regions suffering from food insecurity. Beyond food, moringa has medicinal properties used to treat inflammation, infections, and digestive issues. Its global popularity has surged in recent years, but for centuries it has been revered in Africa and South Asia as a life-saving tree. The African ebony tree is legendary for its wood, which is so dark and dense that it sinks in water. For centuries, ebony has been carved into fine furniture, chess pieces, and musical instruments, symbolizing wealth and refinement. Ancient Egyptians used ebony for decorative purposes, and it was one of the most prized exports of Africa in the Middle Ages. The tree itself is modest in size and appearance, but within its heartwood lies its value. Because ebony trees grow slowly and have been overexploited, many species are now endangered. Efforts are underway to conserve them, as ebony represents both cultural heritage and natural rarity. The Japanese cedar, or sugi, is one of Japan's most iconic trees, planted around temples, shrines, and pathways for centuries. These tall, straight trees can grow over 200 feet and live for more than 1,000 years. In Japan, they are symbols of endurance and spiritual protection, often planted as sacred groves. Their wood is light yet durable, used in building homes, shrines, and barrels for sake brewing. Walking among cedar-lined temple paths in Japan evokes both reverence and tranquility. As the trees stand like guardians of history, sugi has become deeply embedded in Japanese identity, shaping both landscapes and culture. The African marula tree is famous for its fruit, which has a tangy, refreshing flavor enjoyed by both humans and animals. Elephants are particularly fond of marula fruit, and legends claim they sometimes get tipsy after consuming fermented fallen fruit, though science suggests this is more myth than reality. Marula fruit is rich in vitamin C and is used to make juices, jams, and the popular liqueur amaro. The tree also provides valuable oil from its kernels, used in cosmetics for its moisturizing properties. In many African cultures, marulas are associated with fertility and marriage, celebrated in rituals and stories passed down through generations. The cypress tree is a symbol of mourning and eternity, often planted in cemeteries around the world. Its tall, slender form points toward the sky, embodying spiritual ascent. In ancient Greece and Rome, cypress wood was used for coffins and statues of gods, believed to be incorruptible. Today, cypress trees continue to stand as reminders of grief, endurance, and immortality. Ecologically, cypress swamps in the southeastern United States provide habitats for alligators, birds, and countless aquatic species, while their woody root structures help stabilize them in flood-prone soils. The cypress is a tree that blends spirituality, ecology, and resilience. The African baobab, while already celebrated for its ability to store water, also holds a deep place in African folklore. Many stories describe baobabs as upside-down trees, their bare branches in the dry season resembling roots stretching into the sky. Legends claim the gods grew angry with the baobab and ripped it out of the ground, replanting it upside down as punishment. This myth underscores the tree's unusual shape, which is unlike any other. Beyond stories, baobabs act as keystone species in savannas, providing fruit, shelter, and shade that countless animals and humans rely upon for survival. The almond tree has been cultivated for thousands of years, its blossoms and nuts woven into the cultures of the Mediterranean and Middle East. Almond blossoms appear early in spring, symbolizing renewal and hope. The nuts themselves are rich in protein, healthy fats, and vitamins, making them a staple food across civilizations. Ancient Hebrews regarded almonds as symbols of watchfulness and divine approval, while in Greece, almonds were associated with love and fertility. Today, almond orchards dominate parts of California, where they are central to agriculture but also raise concerns about water use. The almond tree illustrates both the bounty and challenges of human reliance on nature. The African umbrella, thorn acacia, is one of the most recognizable silhouettes of the savanna, its flat-topped canopy spreading wide against the horizon. This adaptation maximizes exposure to sunlight while withstanding intense winds. The tree provides shade in the blazing heat, creating microhabitats that support life beneath it. Its thorns deter herbivores, though giraffes have evolved to browse its leaves regardless. In addition to its ecological role, The umbrella thorn acacia is deeply symbolic in African art and literature, representing endurance in a challenging landscape. The mulberry tree is best known for its association with silk. Silkworms feed almost exclusively on mulberry leaves, making the tree central to the development of the silk industry in China thousands of years ago. This relationship fueled one of the most important trade networks in history, the Silk Road. Mulberries themselves produce sweet berries enjoyed by people and animals, and their wood has been used in tools and furniture. In mythology, mulberries are linked to love and tragedy, immortalized in the story of Pyramus and Thisbe, where their blood was said to stain the mulberries red. The African sausage tree, named for its large, sausage-shaped fruits, is a striking presence in These heavy fruits can grow up to 2 feet long and weigh several pounds, dangling from long stalks like ornaments. While the raw fruit is inedible for humans, it is consumed by animals such as hippos and elephants. In traditional African medicine, parts of the tree are used to treat infections and skin conditions. The tree's unusual appearance has made it a favorite in folklore, often regarded with both reverence and curiosity. Asterisk. The persimmon tree produces bright orange fruits that are sweet when fully ripe, but mouth-puckeringly astringent when eaten too early. Native to Asia, persimmons have been cultivated for thousands of years and feature prominently in Japanese and Korean cuisine and culture. In Japan, persimmons are symbols of transformation and patience, as the fruit must be left to soften before it can be enjoyed. Persimmon wood is dense and strong, often used for tools, flooring, and even golf club heads. The tree is a reminder of how patience and timing can transform bitterness into sweetness. The African iroko tree is sometimes called the African teak because of its strong, durable wood. Revered in many African cultures, iroko trees are often associated with spirits and considered sacred. In some traditions, cutting down an iroko without proper rituals was thought to bring misfortune. Beyond its spiritual importance, iroko wood is used in construction, furniture, and boats, prized for its resistance to rot and pests. Iroko trees can live for hundreds of years, towering over forests and savannas, their presence commanding both respect and awe. The apple tree is one of the most familiar fruit trees globally, but its history is as rich as its flavor. Domesticated in Central Asia thousands of years ago, apples spread along trade routes into Europe and beyond. They became central to myth and religion, symbolizing knowledge, temptation, and immortality. The story of Adam and Eve immortalized the apple in Western thought, while Norse mythology described golden apples of youth. Ecologically, apple orchards support pollinators like bees, which are essential to fruit production. Today, apples are among the most widely grown fruits in the world, demonstrating humanity's enduring love for this versatile tree. The African camel thorn tree is another keystone of arid landscapes. Thriving in some of the driest regions of southern Africa, its deep roots can reach groundwater far below the surface, allowing it to survive extreme droughts. The tree provides pods and leaves that sustain livestock and wildlife, while its dense wood is used for fuel and tools. Camel thorn trees also create islands of biodiversity in deserts, offering shade and habitat where little else can grow. For nomadic peoples, these trees have been landmarks of survival, guiding them across harsh environments. The giant kapok tree of the Amazon deserves mention once more for its cultural significance among indigenous peoples. In many traditions, the kapok is considered sacred, believed to connect the heavens above, the world of humans, and the underworld below. Legends say that spirits live in its branches and roots, and ceremonies are often held in its presence. Its towering size, reaching heights of over 200 feet, makes it stand above the canopy, a natural landmark visible for miles. Birds, bats, and primates depend on its flowers and fruits, while humans use its fibers and bark for tools, bedding, and medicine. The kapok is not just a tree, but a bridge between nature and spirituality, embodying the interconnectedness of all life. Asterisk. The red mangrove tree, with its iconic stilt roots, plays a unique role in protecting coastlines and nurturing marine ecosystems. These roots act as natural wave breakers, reducing the force of tides and storms that could otherwise erode shores and devastate communities. Beneath the water, their tangled root systems serve as nurseries for fish, crabs, and shrimp, providing safe havens for young marine life. Above the water, birds nest among the branches, while insects find shelter in the bark. The mangrove's ability to thrive in salty, oxygen-poor soils demonstrates one of nature's most remarkable adaptations. They are unsung guardians of coasts, quietly absorbing carbon and shielding both humans and wildlife from harm. The baobab tree of Madagascar is famous for its stunning appearance, with massive bottle-shaped trunks and sparse crowns that look like roots pointing toward the sky. Known as the upside-down tree, the baobab has inspired myths and folklore for centuries. Some Malagasy legends say the gods planted it upside down as punishment for its arrogance. These unique trees store enormous amounts of water, which helps them survive long dry seasons and makes them lifelines for both people and animals. Lemurs, bats, and birds rely on their flowers and fruit, while humans use their bark for rope and their pulp for food and drink. Each baobab is an ecosystem unto itself, towering as both a provider and a mystery. The sacred fig, also known as Ficus religii, holds profound spiritual significance in South Asia. It is under a sacred fig tree that Siddhartha Gautama meditated and achieved enlightenment, becoming the Buddha. Because of this, the species is revered across the Buddhist and Hindu traditions, planted at temples, shrines, and monasteries as symbols of wisdom, meditation, and eternal life. The tree's heart-shaped leaves tremble in the slightest breeze, adding to its aura of sacredness. Ecologically, it provides shade in hot climates and supports birds and insects with its figs. The sacred fig is not just another tree, but a living reminder of human quests for spiritual awakening. That the giant sequoia, while renowned for its size, is also extraordinary for its age and resilience. Many sequoias have lived for more than 3,000 years, surviving fires, storms, and droughts. Their secret lies in their unique adaptations: bark so thick it resists flames, cones that open only after fires heat, and shallow but wide root systems that interlock with neighbors for stability. A single sequoia grove represents not just trees but entire ancient communities, standing as silent witnesses to human history. Walking among them can feel like stepping into a cathedral built by nature itself, a place where time seems to slow and perspective shifts to the eternal. The American chestnut was once called the redwood of the East, dominating forests across the Appalachian Mountains. Its nuts were a staple for both people and wildlife, and its straight, rat-resistant wood built homes, barns, and furniture for generations. Tragically, in the early 20th century, a fungal blight introduced from Asia wiped out billions of chestnut trees, reducing the species to scattered root sprouts that rarely reach maturity. Efforts are underway to restore the American chestnut through breeding and genetic engineering, sparking hope that this keystone species may one day reclaim its former glory. Its story is a poignant reminder of both the vulnerability of ecosystems and the resilience of human efforts to repair them. The Joshua tree, native to the Mojave Desert, is not a tree in the traditional sense, but a yucca plant that grows into tree-like shapes. Its twisted, spiky arms reach skyward in surreal forms, inspiring awe and wonder. Early Mormon settlers named it after the biblical Joshua, claiming the tree's outstretched branches reminded them of Joshua raising his arms in prayer. Ecologically, Joshua trees provide habitat for birds, mammals, and reptiles in one of the harshest environments in North America. Climate change, however, threatens their survival, as rising temperatures and shifting rainfall patterns push them beyond their natural range. They remain symbols of resilience in desert landscapes, immortalized in music, art, and culture. The silver birch is beloved across Europe for its slender white trunks and delicate leaves that shimmer in the wind. Often the first tree to colonize open ground, birches are pioneers, preparing soil for other species to follow. Their bark is naturally waterproof and has been used historically for roofing, writing material, and even as torches when lit. In folklore, birch trees are associated with renewal and purification, often used in rituals marking springtime or new beginnings. Forests of silver birch create dappled light that feels airy and magical, embodying both fragility and strength. They remind us that even the most delicate-looking trees can reshape entire landscapes. The African sausage tree is one of the most unusual in appearance, producing massive fruits that dangle from long stalks like ornaments. These sausage-shaped fruits can grow up to 2 feet long and weigh more than 10 pounds. While not edible for humans in their raw state, they are consumed by animals like hippos and elephants, which help disperse the seeds. Traditional African medicine uses parts of the tree to treat skin conditions, infections, and digestive issues. The tree's striking silhouette, with heavy fruit swaying in the breeze, makes it an unforgettable presence in the savanna. It demonstrates the diversity of forms trees can take when adapting to their environments. The oak tree is more than just a source of acorns and timber. It is a foundation species in many ecosystems. Hundreds of insects depend on its leaves, while birds and mammals feed on its acorns. Deer, squirrels, jays, and even bears rely on oak harvests in autumn to sustain them through the winter. Oaks also create microhabitats in their bark, cavities, and fallen logs, supporting fungi, lichens, and invertebrates. Symbolically, oaks have represented strength, justice, and endurance for millennia, appearing in myths, coats of arms, and national emblems. With lifespans stretching centuries, they are living monuments to the power and generosity of trees. The sycamore tree, with its mottled bark and broad crown, is one of the most recognizable shade trees across North America. Its bark peels away in patches, revealing a camouflage of cream, gray, and green beneath. Sycamores thrive near rivers and wetlands, where their massive roots stabilize banks and reduce erosion. Their hollow trunks often provide dens for owls, raccoons, and other wildlife. Historically, sycamore wood was used for furniture, barrels, and even wooden bowls. In cities, they lined boulevards and parks, offering shade and beauty. The sycamore demonstrates how a tree can be both practical and ornamental, shaping both natural and urban environments. The redbud tree is a harbinger of spring in temperate regions, bursting into clouds of pink and magenta flowers even before its leaves appear. Its blossoms attract pollinators emerging from winter, while its heart-shaped leaves provide shade in summer. Redbuds are small compared to oaks or maples, but their visual impact is enormous, transforming landscapes with their vibrant color. In folklore, redbuds are associated with renewal and hope, their early flowering signaling the end of winter's hardships. Their modest size also makes them popular ornamentals in gardens and yards, bringing the joy of spring to millions each year. The plane tree, also called the sycamore in Europe, has been a favorite in cities since ancient times. Its resilience to pollution, pruning, and disease makes it an ideal urban companion. Plane trees line boulevards in Paris, plazas in Spain, and public squares across the Mediterranean. Their broad leaves provide shade, while their bark peels away in patches, creating a distinctive, mottled appearance. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Plato were said to teach under plane trees, associating them with wisdom and dialogue. Today, their presence in cities continues that tradition, offering spaces for rest, reflection, and community. That elm tree once dominated many temperate landscapes, lining streets and adorning countrysides with their elegant, vase-like shapes. Elms were beloved for their shade and grandeur until Dutch elm disease, a fungal infection spread by beetles, devastated populations across Europe and North America in the 20th century. Billions of trees were lost, transforming entire landscapes. Despite this, elm breeding programs have developed resistant varieties, and efforts are underway to reintroduce them. Elms remain symbols of resilience and loss, reminding us of the fragility of even the most familiar natural companions. Asterisk. The African Iroko tree holds deep spiritual significance in many cultures, where it is sometimes called the tree of spirits. Cutting an Iroko without performing rituals was believed to invite misfortune or illness. Its towering presence and long lifespan inspired reverence, and even today, many communities avoid harming these trees. Ecologically, Iroko wood is prized for its strength and durability, used in construction, furniture, and boat building. The Iroko's dual role as both a sacred being and a practical resource highlights the complex ways humans relate to trees, balancing reverence with utility. The alder tree is unique among temperate trees for its ability to enrich the soil with nitrogen. Its roots house symbiotic bacteria that fix nitrogen from the air, improving soil fertility and supporting other plants nearby. This makes alders pioneers in disturbed landscapes, quickly colonizing riverbanks, floodplains, and cleared areas. Their wood is resistant to decay underwater and was historically used for foundations, such as the pilings that support the city of Venice. Alders provide food for caterpillars and shelter for birds, creating lively ecosystems wherever they grow. They demonstrate how trees can actively repair and enrich their environments. The hazel tree has been woven into mythology, medicine, and daily life for centuries. In Celtic lore, hazel was a tree of wisdom, with its nuts believed to grant knowledge to those who consumed them. The story of the salmon of knowledge tells of a fish that gained its wisdom by eating hazelnuts that fell into a sacred pool. Practically, hazelnuts are nutritious, rich in fats and protein, and still widely consumed today. Hazel branches are flexible and were traditionally used for fencing, baskets, and even as divining rods to locate water. The hazel tree connects the mystical and the mundane, showing how nature's gifts shape both imagination and survival. The pomegranate tree, with its bright red fruits packed with seeds, has symbolized fertility, abundance, and rebirth across cultures. In Greek mythology, Persephone's consumption of pomegranate seeds bound her to the underworld, explaining the seasons. In the Bible and the Quran, pomegranates are described as symbols of blessing and paradise. The fruit itself is not only symbolic, but also nutritious, rich in antioxidants and vitamins. Pomegranate trees thrive in arid and semi-arid climates, their deep roots and hardy nature allowing them to flourish where many other trees cannot. Their resilience and beauty make them powerful symbols of life's cycles. The African baobab forests of Madagascar include species that are found nowhere else on Earth. These iconic trees stand like sentinels over the landscape, with wide trunks that look like pillars. Known collectively as the Avenue of the Baobabs, one famous stretch of these trees has become a global symbol of Madagascar's unique biodiversity. Ecotourism brings visitors from around the world to marvel at their forms. But climate change and deforestation threaten their survival. These forests are not just natural wonders, they are cultural landmarks and vital ecological systems that must be preserved for future generations. The ash tree, common across Europe and North America, has been central to mythology and culture. In Norse mythology, Yggdrasil, the world tree connecting the 9 realms, is often described as an ash. Ashwood is flexible, yet strong, historically used to make spears, tool handles, and furniture. In modern times, ash is valued for baseball bats and other sports equipment. However, ash populations face grave threats from the invasive emerald ash borer, a beetle that has killed millions of trees across North America. The ash tree's dual role as mythological icon and ecological casualty highlights the vulnerability of even culturally sacred species. The cacao tree deserves revisiting for its transformative impact on global culture. Once revered by the Maya and Aztec as the food of the gods, cacao was used in sacred rituals, consumed as a bitter drink, and even used as currency. When it was introduced to Europe, sugar was added, and chocolate as we know it was born. Today, cacao farming supports millions of smallholder farmers, though often under challenging economic and environmental conditions. The tree itself requires shade and precise conditions to thrive, making it sensitive to climate change. Its story is one of both joy and responsibility, reminding us that the pleasures of chocolate come with global consequences. The fig tree is one of the oldest cultivated plants, with evidence of fig domestication dating back more than 11,000 years. Figs are unique because they are pollinated by tiny wasps that enter through a small opening and live part of their life cycle inside the fruit. This intricate partnership has existed for millions of years, one of the most fascinating examples of coevolution. In many cultures, figs symbolize fertility, abundance, and knowledge. In the Bible, Adam and Eve clothed themselves with fig leaves after eating from the tree of knowledge, cementing the fig's place in human imagination. Ecologically and spiritually, figs are foundational. The African shea tree's nuts produce butter that has nourished communities for centuries, but the tree's resilience is equally remarkable. Growing in arid savannas, shea trees withstand extreme heat and drought, often living for hundreds of years. Women traditionally harvest and process the nuts, making shea butter production not only an ecological gift, but also an economic one that empowers communities. Globally, shea butter has become a prized ingredient in skincare, cosmetics, and food products. The tree's endurance and versatility make it a lifeline across Africa, where it is revered as a sacred and maternal presence. As we leave the forest behind, carry its calm with you into the night. The trees have shared their stories, and now their stillness can be yours. Let your breath slow, let your body soften, and allow yourself to drift deeper into rest. From all of us here at Restful Wilderness, good night.